Welcome to Italy, an ancient country with a rich history and colorful culture that has given us some of the most delicious food in the world. I'm here with Tuscanini, a brand that's dedicated to bringing those authentic flavors of Italy right to your table. With the help of some culinary artisans and amazing chefs, I got to explore Italy's diverse regions to discover where this overwhelming passion for culinary excellence comes from.
Hi everybody, I'm Roberto Serrini, your culinary guide, and for this episode, we're going way down south to the sun-soaked beaches of Sicily to check out what I think is probably the most important ingredient for chefs. Salt. This is an actual piece of salt from Trapani, where they've been making salt for over 4,000 years in a magical process. And we're going to show you exactly how that comes to be. Let's check it out.
Sicily has for millennia been a popular destination for its amazing food, vibrant culture, and idyllic coastlines that bask in the sun all day. Today, we travel a short distance south of the historic town of Trapani to experience one of the oldest resources still produced here, salt. Faded signs bleached by the powerful sun and otherworldly landscape signals that we've found the right spot. To bring us back in time and show us this magical world, we hopped a quick boat ride with Gianni Borametti, whose family has been producing this premium quality product for generations.
Ma noi siamo in questa attività dal 1930. Sì, è una storia lunga. Ha iniziato mio nonno, come dicevo prima, e stiamo continuando noi con la quarta generazione.
The journey into the past was a characteristic one, with relics from an age-old industry surrounding us as soon as we landed. Even the vehicle to bring us to the salt fields was something out of the pages of time, an original OM Lupetto, in mint condition right from the 60s. As rare as the salt produced here on this magical island, which Gianni explained is due to a perfect combination of three simple elements.
Ma tu considera che per avere una materia prima, un sale marino di alta qualità, hai bisogno di tre elementi importanti: acqua, vento e sole. Le coste del Trapanese sono le più esposte a questi eventi climatici. Ma guarda, questa dove siamo adesso è una salina antica, più o meno del 1400. Si è sempre fatto sale nelle coste marsalesi. Cui tutte le saline della zona di Trapani sono molto antiche, addirittura qualcuna risale ai tempi dei Fenici.
Da quando?
Da sempre.
The exact reason why salt has been mined here since the beginning of civilization is because of the extraordinary value of its quality.
E il sale, tu considera, è chiamato oro bianco perché è rinomato in tutto il mondo. In queste saline di Trapani noi troviamo una biodiversità che è unica al mondo. I paesaggi sono fantastici, con diverse centinaia di specie animali che vivono nella salina. Cominciare dal fenicottero rosa, che prende proprio il colore grazie ai microorganismi che mangia e che trova nelle saline. Per cui difficilmente riusciamo a trovare lo stesso ambiente in altre parti del mondo.
Those extraordinarily rich minerals is what gives the salt its unique and premium taste. But before you can even be amazed by its flavor, you are first blown away by the iridescent pink color of the harvesting pools.
Oh, guarda che colori pazzeschi!
È incredibile! It's a different world, è un altro mondo qua.
Sì, guarda là inizia ad uscire, vedi? Perché l'acqua rosa, non è che il sale.
Ah, sì, perché l'organismo esiste in acqua.
Esatto, quando viene raccolto il sale che decanta tutta l'acqua, rimane il sale bianco.
Wow.
Senza nessun microorganismo, niente.
Sì, sì, capito. E come si chiama questa?
Questa è... non è una piscina.
Che vuol dire?
Questa è una vasca.
Vasca.
Questa si chiama servitrice. Questa serve a trasportare l'acqua satura nella vasca salante.
Capito.
Ok, poi c'è un'altra vasca dove è la parte finale dove si cristallizza il sale e si raccoglie il sale in quella vasca. Vedi quelle chiuse in legno?
Sì.
Cioè apri le chiuse e trasporti l'acqua da una vasca ad un'altra. Ok, da un grado saliente minore a un grado saliente maggiore.
Quante vasche ci sono?
Ma qua ci sono 17 vasche.
E diventa sale.
Certo. Il percorso lungo, molto lungo.
Even though a long process, this ancient method of producing salt yields the absolute best quality possible, something that Gianni understands the value in.
Un pizzico di sale è quello che ti dà un po' di gusto nella vita. Per cui se tu non metti un pizzico di sale in una pietanza, tu avrai un sapore piatto. Per cui sono tante le tipologie di sale che si possono utilizzare in cucina. Però lo usi dappertutto, lo usi per insaporire l'acqua degli spaghetti italiani, lo usi per insaporire l'insalata, una bella insalata verde.
What is even more amazing is that Gianni doesn't just cultivate some of the world's most premium salt, but it's produced to the highest level of kosher standards.
Il sale kosher, perciò è improprio dire sale kosher, in effetti è un sale koshering, perché il sale koshering è la tipologia di sale che veniva utilizzata dagli antichi per essiccare il sangue dalla carne. Okay? Per cui ha una granulometria particolare, non è finissimo ma non è grosso. Ecco, questo è il sale che noi produciamo per i nostri clienti che vogliono il sale certificato kosher per le comunità ebraiche.
And before we left this beautiful place, Giovanni left us with one final thought that stays with me to this day.
Tu considera una cosa, noi siamo il nostro corpo, il 90% di acqua, e se non abbiamo sali all'interno di quell'acqua, siamo morti. Il sale è vita.
Ma tu sei un poeta. Bravo!
Ma che bravo! Mi sono incartato un po' di...
Gianni's passion for his product definitely comes across like poetry, and it should in such a magical place. An experience as unique as the product made here. And if you're looking for more uniqueness, then Chef Giovanni has an amazing salt-encrusted fish that will surely astound you and bring that magic of the Trapanese salt right into your home.
So, we're going to make the fish with salt. This is from Trapani, very good quality of salt. So, for each fish, that it's about 500 grams, we need 1.5 kilos of salt. We are going to use some herbs to give some flavor to the salt, like rosemary, different kind of peppers, fennel, oregano, and a little bit of lemon zest. We mix it all together, so we can put some spice on the fish, and then some good olive oils. So we do also in a kosher way, because it's very important to watch that there is no blood on the eggs. We just mixed the salt with the white of the eggs. So now we just have to put it in the oven and let's cook it.
Once you tightly pack your fish in the sea salt mixture, the only thing left to do is bake it in an oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 40 minutes or until the internal temperature is 145. Then, just take it out, marvel at the golden crust, and gently start chipping away at the salt.
I'm sorry that you cannot smell it. It's amazing, it's so Mediterranean with the oregano, with the salt, and with all the different kind of things that we put on it. The most tasty part of the fish. That's for you.
That's for me.
Yeah. Good?
Not just good, amazing. The only thing left to do is plate some perfectly cooked fillets, top with some top quality Tuscanini olive oil, and enjoy the amazing flavors of Sicily right in your home. Buon appetito!
Hi everyone, I'm Roberto Serrini, your culinary guide, and in this episode, we're going to Rome to learn from one of our very special chefs how to make what I think is perhaps the main star of Italian cuisine. Pasta. So I hope you're ready to get your hands dirty because we're going to make it fresh and at home. Let's check it out. You can't really mention Italy and not think about pasta. While you can find a form of noodle all over the world, Italians have taken this culinary wonder and done amazing things with it.
With so many different varieties and flavor profiles, it proves just how versatile it can be in the kitchen.
I mean, pasta, it's something like a white canvas. So you can do whatever you want with a white canvas. It's up on your fantasy or your imagination. And it's exactly what's happening here in Italy with pasta. You have thousands of different kinds of sauces. You can have with fish, you can have with meat, we can have vegetarian, you can have vegan, you can have white, black, red, whatever. I mean, pasta, it's the top for us.
Pasta is not a side dish for us, but it's the main character of our show. Today we are gonna make two pastas that represent very well the Italy variety, because the gnocchi represent a little bit the south of Italy, and the farfalle represent a little bit the north of Italy.
And choosing to make gnocchi and farfalle doesn't just give you an idea of Italian cuisine north to south, but also present to past.
Because the first farfalle, born in the 16th century, made with sfoglia. It's very important for Italy because it's the first step. Then you can have tagliatelle or tagliolini or pappardelle or little shapes like farfalle, garganelli, quadrucci. We have seriously a number of pasta.
Problem is putting it lightly, Sofia, when you consider that there are over 350 distinct recognized shapes of pasta, each coming from a specific region in Italy and used for a specific type of sauce. And that is not even counting other delicacies like gnocchi.
In Italy there are 4 or 5 kinds of gnocchi, because everyone thinks that gnocchi is the gnocchi with potatoes, that it's gnocchi alla piemontese. But there are at least another 3 kinds of gnocchi. There are gnocchi alla romana, that is with semol, gnocchi alla parigina, that is the same like the choux, the beignet, and there is gnocchetti, that is a kind of pasta, like farfalle.
And you can put in a gnocchi, I want to say whatever you want. For example, in the carnival period with the kids, you can make pasta colored so they can have fun with you when you prepared it.
And it's not just fun for kids, it's fun for anyone wanting to make fresh homemade pasta, which I was happy to discover as Sofia showed us exactly how to.
Okay, we're starting to make farfalle. This is a traditional way, putting the flour on the table and make a little volcano. We use the flour 00, semola rimacinata, half and half. The portion of pasta is considered 100 grams of flour, 1 egg. So we can put in the 2 eggs for 200 grams of flour, and then start to add the flour to egg. And now that we have a quite homogeneous dough, we have to start to let it smooth. My grandmother, when he teach to me, she said that it seems a work made with your hand, but it's a work made with your hips, because you have to move all body to manage the pasta in the right way. It's better because you go to the gym for a particular reason, to eat. The table is clean, the pasta is smooth, and it's done. You can start to make the shapes. You can work on the pasta with the rolling pin or with the machine. The machine has numbers, and from the numbers depends the thickness of the pasta. You can see at the beginning the pasta, it's not smooth, but we have to continue to work on it, and we have to fold it.
The idea is running it through the machine, each time increasing the numbers, which decreases the thickness of the pasta, which, after a few runs, produces a perfectly smooth sheet, which is called sfoglia.
Okay, now it's good. This is the sfoglia. When you have this sfoglia, you can do the shapes that you want. You can do tagliatella, you can do pappardelle, or the thing that we are gonna make are farfalle. Now we can cut with the, I don't know, rotella, the name of. And now we have to pin the center of the dough, and we have our farfalle. And now it's a job for kids, because they have little finger, so.
Farfalle is one of the most versatile pastas you can use, pretty much for any type of sauce, hot or cold. And besides being super easy to make, they're super fun. That squared away and looking amazing, it was time to go south and try our hands at making gnocchi.
So we use the flour and the water to make gnocchi. If you have 200 grams of flour, you need 100 grams of water. Now we can start to split the dough in two to make gnocchi colored.
And this is really where the magic can happen, where your pasta can take on a personality beyond just the traditional yellow. You can get crazy and make crimson red with beetroot, or bright gold versions with just a small addition of turmeric. Regardless of what color you go for, one rule always holds true for Sofia.
The basic idea is have fun with your pasta and take your time, don't be hurry, don't rush the pasta. Yeah, have fun. And now to make gnocchi we have to start to do these little snakes. Now we can cut it in little squares and use this old magical machine to make gnocchi. If you don't have it, you can use a fork. You can do the gnocchi in this way. But if you do this little curve in it, it's more easy to cook it. And it's more tasty because the sauce can stay in the oil.
And just like that, we've made two amazing fresh pastas. But to make it authentic, we'll have to cook it al dente, which means that it has to be firm and stick to the teeth, which Chef Giovanni says is the only way it should be served.
Pasta have to be cooked al dente. That means that when you eat it, you have to feel it. It's not a porridge. Let's eat the porridge in England. We eat pasta al dente, that it's something else. So let's keep the pasta al dente. And usually you can cook it in a different way. I like very much with butter and sage. You just you just made the gnocchi or you buy already done, and then you cook it, and you just dress with some butter, sage, and Parmesan cheese if you like it.
The dish couldn't be much simpler. Some butter and sage are placed in a cold pan so that they warm at the same rate and create an infusion of flavor. This happens as the fresh gnocchi become al dente. Al dente means to the teeth in Italian, meaning that they're not mushy to bite and they kind of stick to your teeth. That's the proper way to cook them. They're placed in the pan with a bit of pasta water, which will help this simple sauce emulsify. And with that, the only thing to do is to have a taste. Good is probably an understatement for the simple but elegant pasta, something that Sofia says is special to Italian cuisine.
In every bite of our food, you can find a little piece of the big country that is Italy. So you can feel the different ingredients and all the ingredients match together and make the country in your mouth. Yeah.
Hello everyone, I'm Roberto Serrini, your culinary guide, and in this episode we're going to the rolling hills of Tuscany to discover an amazing ancient product, the humble and beautiful grape. So, let's get juicing. Chances are, if you think good food, you think of Italy. I mean, this is the country that gave us pizza, pasta, and so much more. The reason why Italy is such a culinary hotspot is because they have been refining their dishes through tradition for millennia. One of the oldest cultivated staples here is the humble grape. No matter if you enjoy it immediately as juice, refine it into fine wine, or age it into the magic elixir known as balsamic vinegar, grape products here are only the absolute top quality, which is why Tuscanini demands all their products come from Italy. Let's find out from some of the best producers exactly what goes into crafting the absolute best products in the world.
The balsamic vinegar is something amazing. It's an history, it's a family traditional history.
Balsamic vinegar of Modena is a very ancient product. We have evidences that since Roman time, people was using it to help the digestion. Today, balsamic vinegar is a PGI product, meaning that it can only be made in Modena, because we are a very old historical product and very much linked to the territory because of the raw material that we use.
It's very, very special. It can give you a twist on your roast beef, or maybe to the fish, or as dressing on the salad.
And before balsamic vinegar gains its magical powers to transform any of your dishes, it starts off as wine, which the fully kosher winery Terra de Seta in Chianti knows a thing or two about.
Producing kosher wine it means that all the process need to be done by Mashgihim approved by the certification we have. I need very good Mashgihim, expert in wine, following all the high-level strict certification. Everything needs to be done without other people around that really know what they are doing, because nobody can touch the wine except the Mashgihim.
While having only top people is an absolute must, starting with top quality raw product is a necessity that fortunately Italy can provide.
We are very lucky because in Italy we are in very nice position, and so we just grow, I think, one of the best products all over the world.
In this region we have excellent characteristics to produce our wines. It's a very historical place for the wine production. It's the oldest region in the world regulated for the wine production.
And family history is something that these producers in Italy are steeped in, putting tradition in every product they make that dates back centuries.
Here we can see some of the old machinery used in our production since my grandfather.
I'm Daniele della Seta. Della Seta in Italian it means silk. And this is because in the past in Rome there was a tradition to have the talit in silk, so the families who did this kind of work still have that name.
We started working with Tuscanini more than 30 years ago. To produce a kosher product we need to have proper grape, and all the transformation should be done in a clean sealed container under the control of a rabbi. These are the Tuscanini barrels. They have been made especially for Tuscanini, meaning that the wood has been picked up, has been aged itself, and it has been burned. So this barrel has been born for Tuscanini, and they will remain for Tuscanini for all their life.
I'm proud to produce in this region a kosher Chianti Classico because now I'm part of a very small Jewish community. We are also proud to have a wine that can be paired perfectly with the quality food that Tuscanini is producing now.
If you really want to taste Italy and the magic that goes into its protected wine production, then look no farther than Tuscanini's cooking wine, which I love to use to make one of my favorite classic kosher dishes, scallopini al limone. For this super simple recipe, you'll need some kosher chicken breast, beautiful Tuscanini Cerignola olives, some virgin olive oil, Tuscanini pasta, parsley, shallot, garlic, 2 lemons, and of course the star of the show, Tuscanini premium white cooking wine. First, wash your garden goods and inspect them well for cleanliness. Chop your parsley as fine as possible. Then grab a lemon and slice a few thin discs. Next, grab your Tuscanini Cerignola olives, set aside about 10 and slice them down to the pit. If you have a few crimini mushrooms, chop them up fine, and do the same with your shallot and your garlic, giving them a nice rough chop. Turn your burner on medium and coat the bottom of your pan with olive oil and throw in your shallots and garlic. Next, you're going to want to butterfly your chicken breast, and then under a piece of parchment paper, gently pound them out really thin. Take the cutlets and dredge them well in the bowl of flour, making sure they are all completely covered. Then, gently place them in the pan, taking care not to overcrowd them. And once they're fully cooked, remove them from the pan and set them aside. Now, add your mushrooms to the pan and let them cook down and develop a nice golden color. Once a delicious fond has developed on the bottom of the pan, it's time to deglaze it with Tuscanini white cooking wine. Pouring a good amount will release all that delicious flavor that's formed in the pan. Next, throw in your olives and grab your pasta. I like using fettuccine for this dish, but you can use any of your favorites. Grab your lemons and squeeze their juice into the pan, and throw in the 4 discs that you sliced earlier. Take a ladle full of the pasta water and add it to help emulsify and thicken the sauce. Now add back in your chicken cutlets just to warm them up. Your pasta is now al dente, so the last thing you need to do is plate up your masterpiece with a generous sprinkle of fresh parsley on top and treat yourself to an amazing, authentic Italian meal that will surely transport you to the land of food in your very first bite.
Hi everyone, I'm Roberto Serrini, your culinary host, and in this episode, we're going to the paradise island of Trapani to dive deep into the Italian history and heritage of one of Italy's most prized products, tuna. Down here, they call it the swimming gold of the Mediterranean Sea. Let's check it out.
For this adventure, we travel down south and under the sea to discover the magical world of tuna. Yes, tuna. That friendly fish in a can you probably don't give much thought to has a rich and incredible history here that will make you realize why locals call it d'oro de mare, or gold of the sea. And no one knows more about quality tuna than the Calippo family, who, for over 100 years, has been the benchmark for premium tuna in Italy, basically inventing the process of modern canning that ensures its superior quality around the world.
The quality starts from the selection of the raw material, and then we apply all the know-how that we studied that improved in 110 years of history.
And 110 years is a drop in the bucket for this heritage product, which has been fished here for millennia, since the time of the Phoenicians, in a manner that hasn't really changed much, which is why we traveled even farther south to the idyllic island of Favignana off the west coast of Sicily to visit with Signore Spataro, one of the last remaining traditional tuna fishermen who started when he was just 12 years old.
Io ricordo quando ero ragazzo ed inizialmente ho cominciato a lavorare in tonnara. A Favignana c'erano 700 famiglie che lavoravano dentro lo stabilimento. Le reti, diciamo, le tonnare, questo sistema, sono rimaste tale e quali, non se ne è cambiato niente, sono cambiate solo le fibre. Le fibre sono molto più resistenti di una volta, ho fatto vedere prima i penne di noce di cocco che non è una resistenza. Però la tonnara è rimasta, diciamo, sempre uguale, non è cambiato niente.
Traditionally, these fish were caught and brought into local tunari, or tuna plants, where they were processed by the hundreds. Today, remnants of this old industry can be found along the coast in southern Italy, and some, like this perfectly preserved one in Favignana, are kept as museums, keeping the tradition alive, a tradition that Signore Spataro is extremely proud of.
Questo è chiaro che è una piccola miniatura, i tonni che arrivavano da questa vengono da nord, no? E viene a costeggiare fino a qui dentro. Giravano, se tonne passavano, questa è la sicurezza perché questa, come vedete, è la camera della morte. E poi così avveniva la mattanza. Io ho avuto la fortuna di Favignana a fare 678 tonne. Ho riempito 2 barche, soddisfazione come se uno vince la Coppa del Mondo per me.
And while you can easily understand the pride in every bite, there are some cuts of the tuna that are reserved because of their higher quality.
For example, we process in a separate way the tuna belly, what we call the ventresca. This is the most premium part of the tuna. It needs to be cooked very gently and cleaned twice by specialized workers, and then it's packed by hand in the jars. Then we just add a pinch of salt and some olive oil to get a very special product.
So special, in fact, that people from around the world come here to experience its sublime quality.
La Favignana è buonissimo perché è tonno rosso, tonno, cioè delle particolarità. Che praticamente se lo mangi il tipo di grasso leggermente migliore. Infatti i giapponesi quando lo portano via, prima di portarlo via, danno a mangiare per tenere quel grasso, per quella soddisfazione che chiede loro.
Fortunately, everyone can enjoy this amazing product, as Tuscanini is a fully kosher brand held to the highest level of quality.
For the kosher production of the Tuscanini products, we use a special care in the selection and cleaning of the raw material. As Calippo, we are really proud to partner with Tuscanini to be part of their selected products. They chose us among many others because they acknowledge our passion and our long tradition in striving for quality.
This quality can only be found in southern Italy, which is why Tuscanini demands all their product come from the source. Fortunately, if you want to take a trip to the beautiful island of Favignana without leaving your home, then our pasta queen Sofia has a killer and simple dish that will make any meal a wonderful journey to a delicious ancient time. Let's get into it. First, put a clove of garlic in some hot oil into a pan. Add some crushed red pepper. Next, add in some Tuscanini Italian diced tomatoes. Then, add your premium Tuscanini Ventresca tuna. Season with a bit of salt, add in some capers, and some zest of a fresh lemon for brightness. This is a simple and ancient sauce that harks back to a simpler time, the foundation for the cucina povera.
It's the poor kitchen, born in this case on the boats, when all of the workers have a bottle of sauce made by the mama, no? And they fishing something and start to cook. Super fresh.
Finally, you can use any pasta you like, but for this, we're using fresh farfalle pasta. Add it into the pan with some fresh parsley, and then just finish with a little Tuscanini extra virgin olive oil. The last thing to do is plate it up and enjoy that fresh taste of southern Italy. Buon appetito!
Hello everyone, I'm Roberto Serrini, your culinary guide, and in this episode we're going down to the verdant heel of Italy, Puglia, to discover why Italian olive oil is simply the best in the world. Here's a little hint. It has something to do with the olives.
Olive oil is one of the essential ingredients in Mediterranean cooking, an ancient elixir with modern health benefits that is known the world over for its exceptional quality and flavor. One region on Earth, however, is known to have the world's best, which is why we're here in Puglia, Italy, talking to Clemente about the world's greatest olive oil.
We are a family company. It's a tradition that we have since 1895. So at the moment, we are at the 5th generation. This is really important because we can work all together and bond with the territory.
And bonding with the territory is important for the best olive oil production, which this area of Italy has been famous for millennia. But exactly why?
Because Puglia is one of the best regions in terms of weather. We have sun, we have the sea, as you can see, we have the wine. So this is really good for the extra virgin olive oil because the weather is really important.
The quality of olive oil goes beyond just where the product comes from, which Signore Clemente knows everything about.
Fare un olio buono non dipende soltanto dalla zona di produzione o dall'albero o dall'oliva. Fare un olio buono significa che devi stare attento a 1000 particolari, tutti quegli elementi indispensabili che oggi ci permettono di dire che l'olio è un elisir di vita.
And olive oil is a true elixir of life, one whose potency has to be carefully handled for maximum flavor and quality.
Dall'inizio partiamo dalla pianta per poi arrivare nella raccolta. Non superano 12 ore per la trasformazione.
While Clemente uses the most advanced techniques to ensure top quality product, its knowledge of olive oil production dates back millennia.
When you see an olive tree, you can feel the history because maybe this tree survived thousands of years.
Oggi nell'olio addirittura si sono riscontrati dei valori essenziali per la vita e per come se tu riesci a farlo diverso dagli altri, si riesce a fare una qualità superiore, eccezionale.
And Clemente makes a truly superior olive oil, one that's not just award-winning around the world in culinary circles, but also a kosher product held to the highest Jewish standards.
Because the certification is the proof that we have with our customer and our partner. With this kosher certification, we can prove that all the steps of the production need a quality check.
While our rabbi checked the quality and purity at every step of production, there is one heritage control that can instantly tell you the superior quality of their olive oil, the humble taste test.
Perché assaggiare gli oli? Perché l'oliva è un frutto, è come se fosse un'arancia, come se fosse una mela, come se fosse una pera. E dall'oliva, come in tutti gli altri frutti, si fa il succo, che nell'oliva si chiama olio.
And since oil is just the juice of olive fruit, it can be tasted and judged just like fine wine.
Il primo assaggio lo facciamo col naso. Quindi ritorno ad assaggiare. Arriva un buon fruttato di olive che mi dà una piccola tonalità di amaro con dei retrogusti di mandorla verde che mi determina una esagerata qualità.
While it's wild to imagine that so much care and knowledge goes into every bottle of Tuscanini olive oil just from looking at the bottle, one thing is true about this amazing product above all else.
When you have your lunch with your pasta, you need a drop of good extra virgin olive oil in your meal. Yes, that's it.
And we can't agree more. which is why no matter if you're using it for whipping up a simple pasta, a beautiful piece of fish, or even just a salad, using Tuscanini kosher olive oil will always elevate your dishes and bring the real taste of Italy right to your table. Buon appetito!
Hey everybody, I'm your culinary host Roberto Serrini, and in this episode, we're going to the former Roman Jewish ghetto and try some delicious Roman Jewish street food with our local guide, Sarah Pavancello. And if you aren't hungry, trust me, you're gonna be. Let's check it out.
Ah, Rome. From its possibly narrow streets to its sprawling piazze, this is the home of Vespas, tiny cars, and amazing food. Without a doubt, Rome is a foodie paradise, reflected even in its street art. While every neighborhood has its own character, there is one very special corner of Rome that has a rich culinary history not to be overlooked. So we met up with our local guide, Sarah Pavancello, to discover all the delicious treasures the ancient Roman ghetto neighborhood has to offer.
This is the street of the kosher restaurants, kosher sushi, kosher meat, kosher pasta, really whatever you are looking for is here. Now we get into this bakery and you are going to see how they make the typical pizza bianca and pizza rossa.
The pizza made in this fornaio is made the same way they have been making it for millennia. Dough is naturally cold fermented in large volumes to create amazingly complex flavors. You can smell the ferment. It's amazing, even raw. Then, on a well-floured surface, the dough is rolled out almost impossibly thin, a style typically only found in Rome and extremely difficult to do, which is why I had to ask our pizzaiolo how long he's been at this.
20 anni. Qua. Ecco, proprio mestiere mio, lo adoro proprio.
You can see the adoration in his work as he rolls out a canvas stretcher where the pizza will proof with just some olive oil and salt. When ready, it goes into an ancient oven built into the wall and becomes the ambrosia in just
10-12 minuti. Comunque meno 15, un quarto d'ora pronto.
E quante pizze farai ogni giorno?
Tanto. Sì.
Each one an absolute masterpiece, where anything can be used as a topping to enjoy. After a few selfies, there was no question we had to try some, and for that, Sarah brought us to her favorite place.
We are at Bona, that's a kosher pizza place. Here you can get any kind of kosher pizza by weight. What I love to do with my family and with my friends is sharing many different slices and so I can eat as much as I can. But what I want to show you here is the typical snack that locals in Rome have, and it's the pizza rossa and the pizza bianca. Don't you dare naming this focaccia, because it's not focaccia, and the crunchiest it is, the better it is for us. Among the meals that they offer, you can see that there are the pomodori col riso, so tomatoes filled with rice. And this is one of the most typical Jewish Roman recipes for Passover. My husband always makes fun of me because the most typical Roman and Jewish recipes always have oil, salt and pepper. That's all, and then it's delicious. So where these kids are having the snack is the meeting spot of our elder ladies of the former ghetto. If you are a teenager, Motzei Shabbat, you come here. You believe that nobody is looking after you, but there is for sure somebody in the area having dinner in one of these kosher restaurants that can keep an eye.
While there are spies everywhere, there are also restaurants everywhere. Proof that Jewish Roman cuisine is thriving in the eternal city of Rome, and something that Chef Giovanni has a lot to say about.
My family name, it means that my family is in Rome since 1555, when the Pope decided to oblige all the Jews that live in the Roman neighborhood to come in Italy to be closeted on the ghetto for 500 years. That was a very bad period, of course, but in every bad things there is always something that is good. For instance, the Jews that live in Rome, in a ghetto, they start to a tradition of food. It's so good that the culinary culture of the Jews just became Italian and Roman. Carciofo alla Giudia, the Roman Jews artichoke, is something that every Roman feel like own, even if it's it from the Jews. And the nice thing is that some of those recipes now are well known all over the world.
Most of the Jewish Roman recipes date back the ghetto times. Jewish people were oppressed. Most of them were very poor, second-hand ingredients, but they made them taste delicious. And the best example to me is the fried artichoke.
And with everyone in agreement that the Roman Jewish artichoke is the hallmark of this unique culinary history, we had to try it. And Ristorante Nonna Betta does it better than perhaps anyone.
First of all, the way you clean it. The correct way to do it is by using this really sharp and really short knife.
Yeah.
What you do is slide this blade under each leaf. If you're not very delicate and very precise, you're gonna break the fibers in a way that it releases a lot of the iron inside and it oxidizes really fast.
Wow.
So once it's done, it looks like a blossom. And it's ready to be thrown into boiling oil. The first time, it's for 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's what softens the artichoke. And when someone orders an artichoke, you're then throwing it back in a deep fryer, and it's 1 to 2 minutes. And that's what makes it crispy outside while it stays soft inside. In the ghetto, imagine it was not a nice place to be. So frying was a good way of
cooking food that might not have been the best.
Yes.
And still making it taste good.
That's
this
it.
was the compromise.
That's it.
But it stayed because it's delicious. It's maybe one of the best things you can eat.
It's funny how nowadays many of the best all around the world cuisine are what once was believed to be poor kitchen.
Really poor. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, there's a lot of ways to eat artichokes, but I'm going to say this is the best way to eat artichokes. Is this your favorite food?
I love it. I love it.
They're so good.
I mean, favorite food is a big statement.
I know.
I wouldn't know what to choose, but it's definitely in the top 5.
I don't know. I could put this up. It's like a potato chip on the outside, and then inside it's like a fillet. I don't even know.
Yeah,
It's delicious.
Having delighted myself on this ancient dish, it was time for a little dessert. So Sarah once again came to the rescue and brought us to one of the most characteristic Jewish bakeries in the world.
So here we are in front of the most famous kosher bakery of Rome. Its name is Boccione. There is not even the need of the sign. Everybody knows where Boccione is. And this is the same family that runs the same business from almost 300 years. They don't share their recipes with anybody but with members of their own family, and I totally understand, right? The most famous thing that they have is the pizza ebraica. Pizza ebraica is a giant biscuit that has inside almonds, pine nuts, raisin and candied fruit. Another typical dish that you should get here is the ricotta cheesecake with chocolate or with cherries with fresh ricotta. You see, I skipped the line, don't tell anybody, okay?
Having obtained our treasure and retreating back to the piazza, Sarah says a little prayer before diving into the sweet delights.
Which left her, well, understandably speech-stricken.
Give me 1 second. Do you have chocolate on my face? No, okay. You are teasing me. Yeah, grazie mille. It's still hot. Please, take one. Please.
I mean, even the sound guy couldn't resist this lighter-than-air cheesecake, a characteristic Jewish recipe, like others, that Sarah says comes from a very unique set of circumstances.
From Middle Ages till 1890, this area was the area of the fish market of Rome. So, the fact that Jewish people had fish market next door to their ghetto doesn't mean that they could eat any fish they wanted. Not at all. And it's not just because of kashrut restrictions, it's because of the Pope's restrictions.
And one of them was that we, as Jews, didn't deserve the big kind of fish, but just the small ones, anchovies and sardines. So, one of the most typical Jewish Roman recipe is the aliciotti con l'indivia.
Fortunately, Chef Giovanni has us covered as he goes over the right way to make this ancient and delicious recipe that is sure to delight.
So this is a very old recipe that is from the old ghetto, when the Jews was in the ghetto for 500 years and they cannot use anything than the poor fishes and poor vegetable. In the old ghetto area there is a sign on the wall that it's the maximum leg of the fish can Jews eat. So they start to eat small one. So here we have very simple. It can be amazing for the Shabbat dinner that we used to eat fish. Also because you can have it cold or hot. In this case we are making mono portion, but you can do it also multi-portion one. It's up to you. A little bit of salt, a little bit of ground pepper, and some olive oil.
No matter if you're making these single-serving portions or decide to make a larger format for the family, the process is exactly the same, layering escarole and fillets on top of each other with some salt, oil, and pepper. From there, they all go in a 350-degree oven for about an hour. Halfway through, you'll want to extract any cooking liquid that has formed and return them to the oven to crisp up. Only thing left to do is plate them up with a light drizzle of Tuscanini extra virgin olive oil over the top. Feel free to garnish them as you like, either with some fresh tomatoes and basil or even a twist of citrus to add a bit of brightness. Again, no matter if it's just you or a plate for the entire family, this unique ancient dish is amazingly simple to make and will surely be enjoyed by everyone, connecting present flavors to an amazing history. Buon appetito!